So Keith Thurman, one time he back at it again. He said, and he told Manny Pacquiao that I'm gonna do to you what you did to Oscar De La Hoya. Now, will history repeat itself, or will Manny Pacquiao make his own history and add another name to his great resume like Keith Thurman? And even though this ain't the number one fight in the welterweight division, this is a very interesting fight. If we got Pacquiao versus Errol Spence, then it would not have been as intriguing because we all know Errol Spence would have definitely retired him. If we got Pacquiao versus Crawford, we already know the results. But because Keith Thurman is in a stable state right now, we don't know if we're gonna see Keith Thurman from the Lopez fight or the Keith Thurman from the Porter fight. We just don't know. But one thing for sure, Keith Thurman haven't fought for so long when he took the Lopez fight. And even before that, he fought Danny Garcia and then Sean Porter. And it took him like a year in between. So in the past 4 years, he only had like 2 fights. So that's why he kind of looked bad in the Lopez fight, at least according to Keith Thurman. So I could see why. But at the end of the day, Pacquiao is a whole different story. He will be motivated for sure to get up every day and try to put his best performance and try to make history repeat itself, like he said with what Pacquiao did to Oscar De La Hoya. But the only difference is, I feel like at this point, Manny Pacquiao has more in the tank than he should at 40 years old. I mean, I think he's about to turn 41, or if he's not already. But I mean, it's a huge gap between them two as far as age. I think that's the main difference, is the age gap. I mean, Keith Thurman is in his prime. He's 30 years old. Pacquiao is 41, and that's a huge gap difference. If it was 35 and 25, it wouldn't be as bad. But when you got a fighter on his 40s, I mean, that's father time. Father time knocking on the door. So can Manny Pacquiao beat Father Time, or is Keith Thurman going to retire the man? He does have a rematch clause, but if Pacquiao gets stopped, I doubt he will get the rematch, and I doubt he even want the rematch. But if it's a close fight, he definitely will want the rematch. So Keith Thurman is winning either way. He's getting paid twice if he get the rematch for fighting over the hill Manny Pacquiao. It's still a good version of Pacquiao, but it's definitely not the Pacquiao of old. And at this point, this fight, what makes it interesting is a mental fight. Keith Thurman got to psych himself out. He got to tell himself, hey, I only had a bad performance that night because I haven't fought in so long, and etc., etc. But at the end of the day, it's a bad performance versus Lopez, which Lopez should have been washed up himself, and he managed to still give him a tough fight. And Keith Thurman still got to psych himself out and say, that I'm straight, I'm going to do my thing. Because like I said, boxing is 90% mental and 10% physical. And on the other hand, Manny Pacquiao is the same way. He's 41 years old, but at that age, you see certain openings, you don't want to take them because you ain't trying to receive the counter punches that's coming back. You don't want to hit your opponent as hard because you don't want him to hit you as hard back. I know it sounds silly, but that's according to all the greats, that's what happened to them. Sometimes you see a certain opening that in the past you will capitalize on, but at this stage of Pacquiao's career, can he really do that? He might see certain openings and not take advantage of it. But one thing for sure, if he get Keith Thurman hurt at any point, he will let his punches fly. And he always managed to hurt fighters with his left hand, win or lose. So we'll see if Keith Thurman is able to take Pacquiao power, and if Pacquiao is going to be able to take Keith Thurman power. It's an intriguing fight due to these reasons. It's a mental fight, and whoever takes control of the fight early, I feel like it will have his way later on, because if Keith Thurman is gonna sit in the pocket and make Pacquiao respect him and respect his power and make him think twice before coming in, then Keith Thurman will have the upper hand. However, if Pacquiao is able to do his thing and he's able to get Keith Thurman to react every time he feints or uses the in and out style, then he will be on top of Keith Thurman, and he will have Keith Thurman realize the difference between fighting a legend and just a regular champion. So it's going to be an intriguing fight due to the style matchup and just on where each fighter is at this point physically and mentally. And the build-up is going to be crazy. Pacquiao is not intimidated at all. He's telling Keith Thurman, you know, I'm going to do my talking in the ring, basically. And Keith Thurman, you know, he's saying that this is his legacy fight. If he beats Pacquiao, he's automatically a Hall of Famer, which, you know, that's not out of the question. However, at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, to be a Hall of Famer, especially a legendary Hall of Famer, you got to do more than that, you know. If he would have beat Pacquiao when Pacquiao was at least 37, then I could agree with him. But at 41 years old, a 40 years old Manny Pacquiao, that's what you're supposed to. I mean, you can't be out here losing to grandpa and shit, you know, no matter how talented he is. So the fights that will define Keith Thurman's legacy are the Errol Spence fight and the Crawford fight. He always said, you know, he wanted to fight Floyd because that's a quick pass to becoming a legendary fighter, and including Pacquiao. But like I said, not over the hill Pacquiao nor the over the hill Floyd, you know. But it's okay, you know. Keith Thurman don't have to worry about that because he got competition. He got the Crawford and the Errol Spence of the world in his division. You know what I mean? He got the number one pound for pound in his division, which is Crawford. So if you always wanted to fight Floyd Mayweather for the legacy, Crawford is right there. He's number one pound for pound today. You beat him, you on that list as well. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no excuse as far as that. And Manny Pacquiao definitely doesn't define you. You got to do more than that. So like I always say, subscribe below if you're trying to get smart about a minute. If you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't, and listen to these casual ass fans. And peace.